Welcome everybody to Korbel. My name is Johnny Gnall, and I'm the chef here at Korbel Winery. I apologize for the technical difficulties that got us here today. I know we all plan to be live, but hopefully this will be the same experience and still bring you guys a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment, and some good food and cocktails as well. So as I said, my name is Johnny. I've been here about 5 years at Korbel, and I absolutely love preparing the food here. I do a lot of the internal events. I work in the deli. I do everything food related, and I love doing these virtual events, creating cocktails for which this cocktail today has been specially curated for this event. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I have with me Paul and Erica, who are two of our winemakers. Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yep, Paul Avenin, Director of Winemaking at Korbel. Been here about 35 years. Love every minute of it.
Hi everyone, my name's Erica Mandel. I'm the senior winemaker here at Korbel, and I've been here since 1997.
All right.
So we're going to start off just by opening the bottle because that's where the party begins.
That's how we do it.
Now, this has been sitting in the sun for about an hour because of our technical difficulties. So it might be a little more exciting than normal.
It's okay, the cocktail's on ice.
Yes. Oh, there it
There
goes.
you go. That's why we did it.
Party
That's what it
begins.
is. Yeah, exactly.
So, Johnny, actually, you wanted to taste this?
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me just pull out my cocktail
Yeah.
setup here.
So tell me about the pomegranate.
So the pomegranate was created for the mothers out there, hence the name. I have done cocktails in the past with our pomegranate liqueur, with a pomegranate liqueur, and I really absolutely love it. I think it brings a really nice body and a really nice acidity to our cocktails. And with the Blanc de Noir, that was just a really good match for the wine that we're using. So
Great.
let me say
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers and
Yeah.
happy Mother's Day.
Cheers to
Happy
you guys.
Mother's
Happy
Day.
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Yeah, the Blanc de Noir is a fun one for cocktails. It's got a lot of great red fruit, so Pinot Noir, Sangiovese, Zinfandel, Gamay blend. It's a medium dry, so it can go quite nicely with many different cocktail ingredients. That's like Johnny's gonna show us.
All right, and I'm gonna have some ice brought to me in just a moment. So what we have for the pomegranate cocktail, thank you, off Vanna White over here bringing us lovely things. So we've got pomegranate liqueur, we've got orange liqueur, such as a Grand Marnier or a Cointreau, something like that. We have fresh squeezed lemon juice, and then we have grenadine. So the actual recipe for the cocktail is a pretty simple one in that way. It's a half an ounce of the pomegranate liqueur, a half an ounce of the orange liqueur, a half an ounce of the lemon juice, and a half an ounce of the grenadine. So a really, as you can see just from those ingredients, a really balanced cocktail.
That's
Good luck to spill a little ice right there every time you make a cocktail. So I have these pre-measured to make 3
Throw
cocktails
that
right
in the
now.
pool.
There you go, exactly. Now the pool is the perfect temperature now.
It's about 90 degrees here right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, it's a
Warm
hot-
as day.
Hot day for early
Perfect to be
May.
standing next to a pool but not jumping into it.
Yeah.
And then a little bitters, just some aromatic bitters. Alrighty. Keep that on here. Excuse me. Garnish as well.
I love the name too, the pomegranate.
Thank you very much. I like to
Mother's
be.
Day,
I think
clever.
puns are very
Funny?
finicky sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Some people like them, some people hate them. But I feel like when you make a cocktail, that's really a chance for a pun to shine within the cocktail. So, hence the pomegranate. All right, I'm gonna do my best to pour this evenly between 3 glasses.
You can pour a little extra in mine, Johnny.
Can
That's
I?
okay.
But then you're gonna get less champagne.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, so you want a little less in yours, right? Exactly. All right, we're pretty close.
No, I've never tried this pomegranate liqueur, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So I
this
love
is-
the flavor of pomegranates in general, just that brightness, the crisp acidity.
And with this cocktail, I think what makes it really nice is you have that crisp brightness from the pomegranate liqueur, but then you have the round sweetness of the grenadine as well. And I think when those kind of play into one another, that's what really makes this just a nice balanced, lovely cocktail. So that's all you do. You shake it with ice, pour it in your flute. Remember, anytime that you pour something that has sugar or juice or whatever, it's going to fizz up even more than a typical champagne.
Perfect.
So kind of do it in two batches. Don't get ahead of yourself and go fast because you will make a mess. As I've done many of course, you can't forget your garnish, which I have just little slices of orange. If you're not familiar with this simple trick, a slice of citrus, you just notch it with the knife right there, so it can slide right on your glass. You can do, I did orange, you know, because there is some orange liqueur in there, but orange, lemon, lime, they'll all be very nice choices.
Yeah, there's also a little bit of orange in the Blanc Noir blend as well.
Exactly,
So that'll bring it out.
All right. So once
Cheers.
again,
Cheers.
cheers. Happy
Love
Mother's Day.
it.
Cheers, everybody.
Color is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much.
Nice and spicy.
Ooh, that's good.
Love it.
You know, it's got a nice little bit of sweetness to it, but it's not cloying.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of acidity to it, brightness to it, a little bit of tannin.
Yeah. Well, and the Blanc Noir is a very balanced, I think, a very balanced sparkling wine between the red fruit that you have in there, but you have plenty of acidity. You do have other fruits that, like the orange that you mentioned. So when I work with that and I make a cocktail with it, I try to think of those different fruits and try to complement them and kind of coerce them out in the best way.
Love the bitters.
Now, I think that one of the things this cocktail really shows out is the role that is played by the garnish.
Okay.
Because the aroma of the orange, the aroma of the orange then leads into the flavors of the
totally
cocktail.
true. And I picked it because it was pretty and because it was in there, but I didn't even though I should have thought of that, I didn't even think about that until you just said it. You're absolutely right.
No, because your nose leads your palate.
Yeah, yeah. So it gives you that kind of that suggestion of orange before you even go in.
That's lovely. Love that.
Very nice.
All right, well, cheers to you guys. So next
Cheers.
up on this video, we are going to have Melissa come in. She's going to do a flower arrangement for you, show you how to do a flower arrangement, and it's going to be a little bit of a learning experience and a little entertainment as well. So
All right, Melissa, you are
after
on.
you.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Tarzia. I'm the event coordinator here at Korbel, and I am going to give us a demo today on how to make a lovely box centerpiece. It's a quick, easy thing that anyone can do. We like to keep it nice and low so it can be a centerpiece for your dinner occasion, but it's really all occasion. So let me grab my flowers and we can begin. All right. So I have, to get us started today, I have some hydrangea, a little bit of fern, and some myrtle. And so to begin, you can pick really any container you like. As I said, it's nice to keep it short if it's going to be on a dinner table, but otherwise have fun. Inside of it, we have it lined with plastic just to keep your table from getting wet. And then a piece of Oasis that we have soaked in water. Oasis is a substrate material that holds the flowers in place. So we will go ahead and start with the greens, and then I have the hydrangeas that work kind of as a base and a fill. And then we'll add pops of color with our flowers later. So to get started, I'm going to start with the greens. And what we want to do is think about height. So I'm going to cut this down to, you know, a good 3-4 inches as a base, strip it down, and, you know, good 6 to 8 inches of height, and really just disperse just throughout our vase. And lots of different heights going on, just to add some little pops of fun. And we did get these flowers from the flower mart, but you can pick flowers out of your garden. Use what's on hand. You know, find some fun greenery around your yard. I did this last night, just a little practice using some rose vine and lilac and just some plants I had in my backyard. Some of them I don't even know what they are. Just have fun with it. So we'll do a little bit of fern, and again, just leaving the base clear to slip right in the Oasis, and a good 3-4 inches of height on the greenery. We'll just put a little of those in. And I'm going to start with the hydrangeas now. So the hydrangeas are going to be almost like a bed. It's going to be a pop of color in itself, but it's also going to be the space where everything else lives. So we do want to give it some height. Don't go all the way down to the bottom because it will fill that space in. Let it have a little height there. And again, you want to keep the base so it's stripped for the oasis, but we'll just kind of fill in those bits. Turn that around so you can see. We're leaving a good 2-3 inches from the bottom, just so that we're creating that height that we like. And as I work this in, I'm going to kind of fill in the spaces between the greenery with the hydrangea, kind of wiggling it around. I have some green and white just for fun. I'm not being super symmetrical about this either. Have fun with it, make it natural. You know, it's flowers, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just have some fun with it. And you can use whatever you have on hand. I don't worry about symmetry with flowers because neither does nature. So we'll just get a nice base there. And like I said, kind of work the greens through the hydrangea, kind of wrapping it around and creating a bit of a base. I'm going to cut this one down a little bit. You can always adjust. It's not permanent once it's in the oasis. So adjust as you need. And then I'm going to grab our color so we can have some fun here. Okay. And here is our pops of color. So today I have some Astromeria, some roses, some what they call spray rose, which are, you know, the fun little trios, and some Angelica. But again, play with whatever you have. Use what's in your yard, and just have fun with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some little vignettes where we'll put a couple clusters of different types. So I'll do a ranunculus, rose, and some little baby roses in one area, and just looking for places that look like they could use some fun. So yeah, I like to, again, I don't like to be too symmetrical because it's flowers, but you could create the same vignette on either side if you like the symmetrical look. You can cut these bases a little lower if you want it to be a little less loose. I tend to like my flowers more flowy, so I like these big kind of flowy looking. But if you like a nice structure to it, you can cut those bases a little smaller so they're more flush with your hydrangea. Just have fun with it, and the more you practice, the more you'll learn what's your style. So just gonna put some of these cluster, and again, I think I'm gonna adjust. You want to take the greenery off before you stick it in the oasis. And yeah, so we can just keep going with that. I mean, I could probably put flowers in this thing all day long, but you just want to find a sweet spot that you're happy with. And next time you have your friends over to enjoy your Korbel champagne, you can wow them with a beautiful handmade centerpiece. So happy Mother's Day to everybody, and I'm going to invite Johnny and our winemakers back.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank
Isn't
you,
that
Paul.
nice?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
share this
Wow.
with my
Nicely
mom.
done,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, so
nice.
we'll leave
Gorgeous.
this.
Yeah, please leave it.
That's beautiful.
Leave
We'll
that
leave
for
that
you
up
guys
there.
to
Yeah.
enjoy.
Enjoy the
And
aromas and the.
I love the
sights.
box space.
Isn't that
No,
fun?
when we were off stage, I was just telling these guys that my daughter did a class in flower arrangement, and the bonus of the class was she would bring all these projects home, and we always had
Right.
these beautiful flowers all over the house.
Yeah, and that's the best part of practicing is, you know, you're getting to enjoy the fruits of
Great,
your labor.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
So,
we're going to go into the sweet
Sweet
Cuvée.
Cuvée is our next wine.
Hey, Erica's
So
gonna
we're
put it
going to
over here.
be.
Sweetness in wine. It's an interesting thing because for sweet wine to work, particularly with food, it's all about a balance. And I think of the balance of a wine, particularly a sweeter wine, as a play between the sweetness of sugar, the acidity, and the alcohol, which gives it body.
Sure.
And so you're playing off those notes. And if the wine's out of balance and the sugar is out of balance with the alcohol and the acidity, then you have the cloying, off-balance wine. But if you do it right, it works very nicely. And I think the sweet Cuvée in particular, I love it with like sushi or Asian food in general.
Yeah.
I like it. Something with a little bit of spice. I think the sweetness helps
Yes,
with
yes.
ameliorate spiciness.
I love that about the sweet Cuvée is that, I love spicy food in general in all settings. And it's very rare that you can enjoy a wine with spicy food. Usually when I go out to eat spicy food, I try to order wine. They're like, no, you want beer with that. And they go to a Thai restaurant or something like that. But you're absolutely right that the sweet Cuvée can stand up to the spice. It can actually balance it out and make it a little bit easier to handle if you got a little fire. Now, granted, if you're getting 5 alarm, 75 grams of bird's eye chilies in your food, you're not going to be able to taste anything that you have. So that's not what we're suggesting.
Or old fashioned barbecue back in Alabama.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Don't
probably not the
chug
best pairing.
Tabasco and then chug sweet Cuvée. But if it is a food that has a little bit of spiciness, it is definitely a good,
Wonderful with
a good
all
pairing.
sorts of curries as well.
Oh yeah, curry is
Yellow.
a really good pairing.
So, speaking of pairings, what we're going to do now, so what I have here is I have a little shrimp salad that I made. And the shrimp salad has red cabbage and cilantro, little red onion. Obviously it has shrimp. It's got a honey lime vinaigrette with a little bit of coriander. And the coriander too is something that I chose very specifically to accompany the sweet Cuvée, simply because coriander has that kind of it's almost a citrusy characteristic on its own with a little bit of a spice in it. And just with the sweet Cuvée, I found that's another one of those little flavors that pair really nicely, that they kind of bring the best out of each other. And I'm spooning these right onto a little tostada. Tostada is a very fancy way to say fried tortilla, for those of you who don't know. All you have to do to make these is you just drop a tortilla in some hot oil for a couple of minutes, not even a couple of minutes, for about a minute until it's a golden brown and it's got put a little salt on it, and then there's
Such
your
a
tostada
pretty
right there.
dish too,
Yeah,
Johnny. I
thank
love
you very
the
much.
colors, the purple.
That was
green.
the idea of the red onion and the cabbage, was to bring a little color and feed your eyes while you feed your body. So I realized also I did some entertainment for you guys. I made this a very difficult to eat. This isn't like a spoon and a fork. This is crunchy things that fall apart and salads that fall off of them. So it's entertainment as well as information for you guys. But
Like that.
excuse me.
It's always surprising to me what elements of a food like this jump out. It's not always what you would think is the most obvious thing.
Okay.
But like here, like a little bit of cabbage and onion and the shrimp, there's an interesting play of different, a little bit of sourness, a little bit of richness, a little bit of, that umami kind of thing going on.
And as I eat it and taste it with the wine,
I'm not even gonna bother unrolling it. This is finger
go
food.
for it. We're keeping it real here, guys.
This is finger food.
But something that time and time again never fails to astound me. Yeah, I just want to do it again so I can have it fresh in my mind. Is the way that with our sweeter wines, our sweet rosé, our sweet cuvée, even our moscato, that when you have them with a food that has a good amount of sweetness, does change that wine so much, and it doesn't take anything away from it other than the sweetness. It just makes it into something new. So it's like when I sip that sweet Cuvée first, and then I sip it after tasting the shrimp. I mean, it literally tastes like a different wine to me. It's just, it cuts through that sweetness, and it kind of provides a new experience, which for me is always my goal. If I'm going to cook a dish to pair with the wine, I'm hoping I'm changing the food a little bit with the wine. I'm hoping I'm changing the wine a little bit with the food as well.
Yeah. Kind of a fun fact, we put a little bit of Muscat Canelli line in the dosage for our sweet
Oh,
Cuvée.
okay.
So Muscat Canelli is very, floral, a little bit of spiciness.
Yeah.
I love how that really brings out the tropicalness that
Yeah,
you have in this
absolutely.
shrimp.
Yeah, the
Like
mango
really,
in there, for sure.
Yeah, really great in
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
I
This
love
is
that.
one of those that I prepare things all the time, and I taste them and I try them. When I get an opportunity to really try it on its own, as if I were someone eating it for the first time and trying it with the wine, I think this is one of those pairings that if you make it at home, and you should, because it's really, really easy to make, as you'll see in your recipe, this is one that comes out really, really nicely and really, really does well for the wine and does well for the dish itself.
Yeah, love it.
Okay.
Very nice.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So we're going to clear away this course, and then
Next up is
on to the next.
Okay, Paul. I'll let you open our
All right.
sweet rosé while I talk a little bit about that.
so maybe this bottle's nice and cold, so I'm actually going to go through the process of step by step showing you how to open a bottle properly. So that I didn't want to do it the first one because I could tell when I
Yes, that was a good decision.
It was
That
hot.
was smart.
This one's nice and cold now. So we've got that little wire cage. The little cap on top is called the mousselet, and you just undo that. But as you take that off, put your thumb over the top of the cork so it does not fly out like the one did earlier on today. And then grab the cork between your thumb and forefinger, and you pinch down on it, and don't turn the cork, turn the bottle.
Some might think you're a professional at doing this.
I've done a few of these over
While
the
you
years.
pour these, before we keep talking, before we talk about the sweet rosé itself, I will just share my cork misfortune story with the group. My very, very first restaurant job. It's in San Francisco. It's at Water Bar in San Francisco, if you're familiar with it. We made our mignonette for our oysters with champagne. And it was my first day, and I had to open a bottle of champagne to make the mignonette, and I'm back in the kitchen, and it's my first day, and I'm nervous, and I'm talking to people, I'm introducing myself, and I took the foil and the wire off of the cork and was holding the bottle in my hand as I continued my conversation over here. And I'm in a restaurant kitchen, so it's hot in there, and this bottle was made for mignonette, so it wasn't stored in the fridge or anything. And as I stand here, no joke, unbeknownst to me, the cork was slowly raising itself, and all of a sudden so yeah, my name's Johnny, and the cork just shoots off, and there's champagne shooting into the sky. It's the middle of service. So that's a lesson to you. Open your champagne bottles carefully, follow Paul's instructions to the letter. Otherwise,
Cold's better than warm.
Cold better than warm, obviously.
Tastes
Don't
better
take
that
your
way.
hand off that cork, no matter what.
Absolutely.
I'll say cheers first, and I'll
Cheers.
taste it,
Yeah.
and then I'll let you guys say a little something while I plate up our next dish.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, our sweet rosé is by far the sweetest product we make here at Korbel. It's 6% dosage, so it's about 5 to 6 times sweeter than our brut. Similar to the Blanc de Noir, you definitely are showcasing a lot of the red fruit flavors. With the sweet rosé, you get a lot of strawberry, raspberry, and
Strawberry.
yeah,
Strawberry, yeah.
that. There you go. And although it's so sweet, it's got a nice little cranberry in the finish.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't, it's like a nice balance. It doesn't. It's not too cloying.
That's crucial about it. If it didn't
Absolutely.
have that, I think it would be too sweet to drink. I think that balance is what makes it so delicious, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely, most of here at Korbel, we say our house style is very fruit forward. So we get our fruit for all of our blends throughout the state of California. So it is a California Appellation, multi-varietal, multi-vintage, even blend oftentimes. The sweet rosé, I think, goes great with desserts like Johnny is
Plating right
pairing.
now,
Yeah,
and I'll steal the spotlight from
Yep,
you
yep,
at that point to
absolutely.
say, so what I have here is a pretty basic strawberry shortcake with a few big additions. So it was macerated strawberries were in here, and they were macerated as traditionally as you can get with a little lemon juice and sugar. The shortcake is as traditional shortcake as you can get as well. Just a shortcake biscuit ready to go. And what's really cool about these biscuits is the recipe that you have or that you'll get is the outside gets very crunchy and crispy, and I don't know how well you can see it, but full of crannies and nooks and all sort of pox and everything like that, while the inside actually gets really dense and moist, which makes it the perfect vehicle for absorbing all the juice from the strawberries. When you plate this dessert, you want all that juice from the strawberries that you saw me putting over at the end, because that's going to soak into the biscuit there and just like make it a complete unified dessert. And then the whipped cream that I put on top, the creme chantilly, if you want to call it by its official name, is a spiked creme chantilly, so it's got a little orange liqueur, and it has cocoa nibs as well. And the cocoa nibs are there for texture, which I find is always helpful when you're having a sparkling wine. It's any type of texture in your mouth that's kind of fun or interesting plays into the texture of the bubbles that you get from sparkling wine that you don't get from a still wine. So I always like to play with texture whenever I'm doing a pairing. So it's got the cocoa nibs in there, but also the cocoa nibs are in there because with our sweet rosé, as I'm sure these two winemakers will attest, red fruit is the star, but dark chocolate with red fruit is one of the best possible combinations you can have when you're doing this sweet
well, the
rosé.
dark chocolate, for me, it's got a little bit of bitterness to it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that bitterness bitterness always sounds like a negative, but I think bitterness
No,
plays
yeah,
a very
that's-
important.
It's just
role
one
in
of the
chocolate.
tastes. It's one of our tastes. It's just as important as salty or sweet.
Absolutely.
And then just for good measure, I'm doing something that is optional. This dish will be great on its own with just the biscuit, the shortcake, excuse me, the biscuit, the strawberries, and the whipped cream. I added shaved dark chocolate because for the exact same reason that we said, that sweet and bitter chocolate flavor is really going to just up how well this pairs with the sweet rosé. And the way I like to do my dark chocolate, if you can get a chunk of dark chocolate, not chips or buttons or anything like that, but you get a block or a chunk, and you can find them, they're not that too hard to find. Use a serrated knife to shave it, and you get this really beautiful texture that's not big chunks like chips that bite, but it's these really thin kind of shards that crack. And again, it's all about the texture. When you bite in on them, it's just this very satisfying, delicious texture on its own. But thinking again about the texture that's going to go with the wine, that itself plays into how you enjoy the dish as well.
Looking
So
forward to this.
Wow.
you could do just shaved chocolate,
pretty.
with a microplate.
Thank
You could do chocolate chips, and the taste, the flavor will work. But my little technique with the serrated knife and the block of chocolate is going to make it into a really, really, exquisite pairing. And I hope that you all are enjoying the fact that we're torturing you slightly by making you watch us eat delicious food here, and just, kind of enjoy that.
Very nice.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
Love it. And
But
just
there's
kind of a fun, strawberries dipped in chocolate
Yeah.
is a great,
Exactly.
Mother's Day
Exactly.
alternative.
Yep.
For some of you out there, such as myself, or quite as talented as a chef as Johnny is.
Well, this is
I
this is
love
made.
that.
This is a dish made for home cooks.
Mhm.
It is as simple as it can get. You can plate it 100 different ways. You can kind of lay it out on a rectangular plate like we had the tostada on and do something a little bit more fancy. You can do it like this, just like Mom used to do it. I mean, I feel like it should be done like Mom used to do it. This is a Mother's
Especially
Day
for
event.
Mother's Day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And back to the shrimp dish, that's another easier one.
Yeah,
that,
yeah. I
even-
specifically chose dishes to
Yep.
pair for this one that would be good for a home cook. Wouldn't make you sweat in the kitchen for hours and hours, and give you time. Especially even on Mother's Day, sometimes it's Mom who does the cooking. We don't want to put too much pressure on her. So
Well, it's a great way to end the afternoon, and
Yeah. Beautiful
cheers
with that.
once again
Beautiful.
for
Happy
all the
Mother's
moms
Day.
out there.
Yes.
Thank you so much. flavor thing. And enjoy your summer afternoon. It's not technically summer yet, but it sure feels like
Oh, it feels like summer to us, at least over here. Yeah.
It's almost 90 degrees here. So.
Yeah,
And
cheers.
bring Melissa in. Thank you, Melissa, for your
Thank
hard
you,
work and
Melissa.
flowers. And cheers to all you guys, and
Cheers.
happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. And drink responsibly and toast light.
And toast life.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's great.